ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Oh, reading from Teachings of Sri Chaitanya. Okay, so purified senses can understand these transcendental features, but those who are impersonalists, who have no knowledge of spiritual senses, can simply discriminate within the scope of the material senses and cannot understand the spiritual exchange or spiritual sensual activities. Persons who are elevated in experimental knowledge can simply satisfy their blunt material senses either by gross bodily activities or by mental speculation. Everything generated from the body or the mind is always imperfect and perishable, but transcendental spiritual activity is always bright and wonderful. Pure love on the transcendental platform is a symbol of purity. This means without any material affection or completely spiritual. Affection for matter is perishable. Therefore, the inebriety of sex is there in the material world, but there is no such inebriety in the spiritual world. Hindrances in the performance of sense satisfaction are the case of material distress, and that and that is not exactly comparable with spiritual separation. In spiritual separation, there is no inebriety or ineffectiveness as with matter. Lord Chaitanya admitted that this is the highest position of transcendental loving reciprocation. And he said to Ramananda Roy, by your grace only, I have been able to understand such a high transcendental position. This transcendental position cannot be achieved without the performance of transcendental activities. So would you kindly explain to me how I can raise myself to this platform? Ramananda replied, it is similarly difficult for me to make you understand, but so far as I am concerned, I can speak what you would like me to say before you. For no one can escape your supreme will. There is nobody in the world who can surpass your supreme will, and although I appear to be speaking, I am not actually the speaker. You are speaking. Therefore, you are both the speaker and the audience. Let me speak as you will me to speak about the performance required to achieve this highest transcendental position. Ramananda Roy then began. The transcendental activities of Radha and Krishna are very confidential. They are not to be understood in the emotional relationship of master and friend and friend, or parent and son to the Supreme Lord. This confidential subject matter can be understood in the association of the damsels of Braja, because such confidential activities have arisen from the feelings and emotions of these damsels. Without the association of Braja, no one can nourish or cherish such transcendental understanding. In other words, these confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna have expanded through the mercy of the damsels, and without their mercy, we cannot understand. One has to adopt this life to follow in the footsteps of the damsels of Raja, and then one can understand. When one is actually situated in that understanding, he is eligible to enter into the confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna. There is no other alternative way to understand this confidential part of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This is confirmed in the Govinda Lilamrita in a verse which reads as follows. The emotional exchanges of Radha and Krishna, although manifest and very happy and expanded and unlimited, are limited for understanding to the damsels of Raja only, or to their followers. As no one can understand the expansion of spiritual energy of the Supreme Lord without the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord, similarly, no one can understand the transcendental sex life between Radha and Krishna without following in the footsteps of the damsels of Raja. There are different names of the associates of Radharani. They are called Shaktis, or personal associates, and also the Manjaris, the near assistants. it is very difficult to express their dealings with Krishna, as they have no desire to mix with or to enjoy Krishna personally. But they are always ready to help Radharani be with Krishna. Their affection for Krishna and Radharani is so pure that they are simply satisfied when Radha and Krishna are together. And they simply enjoy the transcendental pleasure of seeing and Krishna Radha and Krishna combined, united. The actual form of Radharani is just like a creeper embracing the tree of Krishna. The damsels of Raja, the associates of Radharani, are just like the leaves and flowers of the creeper. And when the creeper embraces the tree, automatically the leaves and flowers also take the opportunity to embrace the tree along with the creeper. This is confirmed in Govinda Lilamrita as follows. Radharani is expressed as the expansion of the pleasure potency of Krishna. As she is compared with the creeper, her associates, the damsels of Vraja, are just like the flowers and leaves of that creeper. When the Radharani and Krishna enjoy themselves, the damsels of Vraja enjoy the pleasure more than Radharani herself. Although the associates of Radharani do not expect any personal attention from Krishna, still Radharani is so pleased with her associates that she arranges a meeting of Krishna and the damsels of Raja individually. By many transcendental maneuvers, Radharani tries to combine or unite the associates with Krishna. Radharani takes more pleasure in these meetings than in her own affairs, and when Krishna sees that both Radharani and her associates are pleased by his association, he becomes more satisfied. Such association and reciprocation of love has nothing to do with material lust. But because it resembles such unification between man and woman, or the similarity to the combination of man and woman is there, therefore sometimes it is called in transcendental language transcendental lust. I think we can stop here. So this is a very high level topic discussion here. So this is like the highest stage that has been explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is really asking Ramananda Roy to explain all of this, but we can clearly see here, right? Ramananda Roy knows that it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is Krishna himself in the mood of Radharani. And he said that I am just like a puppet. You are making me speak all of this. You are the speaker and you are the audience. But I'm just like, he's just an instrument. He's just speaking everything as Mahaprabhu is inspiring him to speak. So basically in this topic, as the discussion progressed, right, initially we had seen all the Varnashram Dharma, Karma Kanda and all of that, everything came through. And then finally, he also explained about the 5 different relationships that can be had with Krishna, right? We talked about the neutral relationship as a friend, relationship as a servant, as a friend, as a parental relationship. And then finally, it's the Madhurya relationship, which is like having conjugal relationship. And in this section is where the topmost secret is being revealed, that what is that highest one, right? And then yesterday we read about a little bit about the transcendental pastime of Radha and Krishna. And for us, like we only know about the material world. We only know the material sensation or the lusty affair and all of that stuff. So for us to even understand or conceive all of this is at a very high level, and that is why today it is being explained that it is not easy for somebody in the material world to understand that relationship or that transcendental love unless somebody is following in that footsteps of the gopis of Vraja. Only when somebody is at that level where you're following Ragatmika Bhakta, right? That's what we have learned from Nectar of Devotion. When we are that Ragatmika Bhakta, like we follow those gopis, then with their mercy, we can understand what this is all about. And again, in order to even get to that level, needs a very high level of purification, because the mood of the gopis we can see now, right? That they never desire anything for themselves. All along, what they want is Radha and Krishna to be together. They are never seeking their own personal pleasure or being selfish or anything like that. See, that is so difficult to conceive, right, in the material world, because here all the time everybody is wanting their own pleasure, like personal, selfish pleasure. But here in this spiritual, transcendental relationship, all the gopis, they just explained, right? Like Radharani is like the creeper. And when she is completely like doing that, the flowers and everything is the gopis. So when Radharani is happy, the flowers and everything else is happy. So all in all, really the focus of the gopis is the like really bringing Radha and Krishna together, nothing for themselves. And when a living entity, when a Jivatma has become purified enough and they are following the footstep of the gopis, then that living entity, that Jivatma, will become qualified by Radharani and Gopis' mercy to be able to understand these pastimes and even enter into these pastimes. And we have seen, right, like our acharyas, there are like how they are also in this community, like in the form of manjaris or all of them, right? We know those whenever they are the expansions of that, then they are already a part of that Radharani's companions, expansions, I guess, like Bhakti Vinod Thakur and all of them, right? We know their transcendental name and transcendental pastimes are all explained. So, like that, they are at that level. But yes, for us, I mean, we can understand all of this and just learn how the highest level can be, although it is inconceivable. So, with that, we can continue chanting.